So, South State Bank, Palm Harbor location, but as I always say, where I'm located really doesn't matter because nowadays most people do banking online, through the internet, their phone, through text, through email. It's whatever works for the customer is what works for us at South State Bank. What I think it's important for you all to know about me is that really banking is all I've ever known. My father was a banker. I grew up in northern Minnesota, we're from the Canadian border. In a town of 20,000 people, everybody knew everybody and everybody's business. And most of all, everybody knew my dad, and I got away with nothing, absolutely nothing. But he was a bank president, CEO, he was a consultant for the American bankers and the Minnesota bankers, and he taught me an awful lot about banking. I started working in his bank in 6th grade. Yeah, I lived a very, very fortunate life, but my brother and I always had to work. So starting in about 6th grade, I would go on the school bus every day after school down to the bank. I'd roll coins, shred paper, and whatever else it was that they or he needed me to do. He told me at a very, very young age, the world was changing. I would always need to work to support myself and my children in the manner we were accustomed to living and to never depend on anyone else to support me. And I've stayed true to that. So I never intended to be a banker, quite honestly. I wanted to be a flight attendant and I wanted to be a hairdresser. He said absolutely not to hairdresser. He said I wouldn't be able to support myself and my kids in a manner I was accustomed to living. So I said, okay, well then I'll go to flight attendant school. I went, I loved it, loved it, loved it. My first flight, the plane dropped, went sideways, and I thought I was gonna die. Got off the plane and didn't fly again for 6 years. I had absolutely no backup plan, none. Moved back home with my parents, started working in the bank, decided that Minnesota winters weren't for me. Came to Florida by myself at I think 19. Didn't know anyone, didn't have a job, just loaded up my car like the Beverly Hillbillies, you know, my twin size bed, my big box speakers all bungee corded to the top, and off I came. What a sight. Moved to Stuart, Florida, and that was, I guess, 1989, and the rest is history. Met my husband over here on a business trip. And we commuted for 7 years. He was here down on Drew Street in Clearwater, and I was over in Stuart, Florida, and 7 years one of us made that commute every single weekend. So we've been together an awful, awful long time. We have 2 kids. It is a long time. 2 boys, they're 23 and 28, Burke and Bronson. Bronson is here in Tarpon, he's a welder, and Burke is over in Tampa, and he runs a warehouse for a commercial lighting and fan business. So we love to go, I'm an outdoors person, I want to be outside in the sun, in the fresh air. We love mountain hiking, we love traveling, and I love flowers. That's kind of it about me personally. We at South State, wrong way. South State is $65 billion in assets. We have 350 branches. We have a much larger presence in other parts of Florida than we do in the Tampa Bay area, but I see that changing in the near future. You can see that up and down the East Coast and the southeast corner, we have a bigger presence there. There's really nothing at the bank that we don't do. We have all the capabilities of the big banks, but we offer it in a small town, old-fashioned banking kind of way, which is why it's perfect for me, because that's the kind of banking my father used to do. One of the great programs we offer is an at-work program. So any of you that have employees, we can specialize a program for them. We can be a source for them for financial advice and guidance, because what we know is when the big banks make you do things electronically, when things go wrong, people don't have someone to contact, and we're that resource. We're that resource for your employees, even if they don't bank with us, so they're not bringing those personal financial problems to work with them. You're paying them to work, but they're obsessed with a personal financial issue. So please feel free, your family, your friends, your kids, anybody that you know that's struggling with a financial issue, they're going through a divorce, somebody passed away, we can guide them on that. We know an awful lot about banking. Consumer banking, there's really nothing that we don't do on the consumer side or the business side. If it comes to moving money, we do it. We do it for the little guy and we do it for the big guy. We've got some overlap in this room. You will never, ever in this group hear me speak about credit card processing, mortgage, payroll services, financial advisors. That's out of respect to my partners in the room. But with that said, I'm a great referral source for those individuals in this room, because we all do different things. Jack can do credit card processing for businesses I can't touch, right? My financial advisor doesn't necessarily focus on the same type of clients that Ann does. LB can help many of my business owners that I can't help because it's a stated income, or they're not, many business owners don't show their income. We don't do reverse mortgages. So there's never in this room gonna be a conflict. And kudos to poor Morgan, who had to talk to me about that today, because there's slides in here that say we offer those services. But the gorilla in the room is, I'm never gonna talk about it when I'm here, other than what I'm saying right now, that I'm a good referral source for these partners, and I take my ethics and morals very, very seriously. So we do nonprofit banking. We specialize in working with nonprofits. Commercial banking, little guys, big guys. Debt solutions, any and all types of lending for the little guy, the big guy, consumer and business. Equipment financing, any type of equipment, we've got financing options. Healthcare financing, if you know doctors that are looking to purchase a practice, we do practice financing. We help with franchise financing. If you know somebody that wants to buy a franchise, we have a special program for financing it. That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Woo.